Hi Michelle, so here we go with our voice grading. You'll have to be sure to tell me if you like this, if it works well for you, okay? So first of all, I like the fact that you used the right format for the lesson plan and filled in the information completely at the top here. So 8th grade rhetorical devices, obviously using a lot of examples. Prior content knowledge, 5-paragraph essay structure, probably realistic on your part, but then using the rhetorical devices, excellent goal. All right. I like the fact that you dug down through the standards into the evidence outcomes. So what I'll be looking for is to see if you wrote a lesson plan in which you're teaching students to write arguments to support claims with clear reasons and evidence. All right. Your essential questions are great. I hope to see those in your lesson plan. So your students will be able to identify the differences between the 3 rhetorical devices and prove it by identifying which rhetorical devices are being used in a sentence. I like that as a goal. It's very measurable. It's very succinct. The students know exactly what they're to be learning and how they're to demonstrate it to. I think that just reduces stress in the classroom for all involved. Your students will understand, very nice, how rhetorical devices are used to support claims. Very well done, very well done. Okay, so moving down into the assessment area. So your formative assessment, there'll be 3 separate pictures on the board and students will match with one of the 3 rhetorical devices and asked to explain their answer. So your formative assessment is going to sounds like it's verbal. And then your summative assessment, a little more formal and written. So that's probably a good idea. Great. All right. Look at you and your differentiations already. Holy cow, girl. Nice work. Way above and beyond. I really appreciate that. I like that in your learning plan, you have thought through what it is that you want to actually say to the kids. I think that helps me to get inside your head too and to understand what kind of a teacher you want to be, how you want to speak to your students. Right, our objective is to learn about what rhetorical devices are. Good, all right. So then you show them a commercial, and I like that. You know, one of the things that we'll be talking about in class, I may have talked about already, I don't know, is where you allow the students to experience before you label. So showing them this commercial and allowing them to experience that device, you know, and asking these questions, what was it about, how did it make you feel, and then slapping a label on it, much more effective teaching technique. I really like that. Okay, oops, sorry, struggles with my scrolling here. Okay, ER for expected response, great. It's about a student, you know, parents, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to move on to modeling that, right? Giving them a definition, showing them the PETA ad, that's pathos. Chicago ad, ethos, right? Nicely done, okay. I like some of these thoughts over here. You may be getting, you know, if you're thinking about teaching this to 8th graders, this is the first time you've introduced this to them, you may want to think about scaling back some of these pieces until a little bit later, right? Once you understand ethos, pathos, logos, then you can look at their application to much more complicated situations, for instance, like social justice. Okay, just a thought there for you. All right, so checking for understanding. How do you think I came to my conclusions about these pictures? I love that you modeled and then you asked them to speak back to you about the modeling. Really good. You even anticipated some mistakes. For the guided practice, right, the Army recruit poster, that's nice. You know, that's a nice kind of like cross-curricular piece. You know, think about if you were to line this up with a history teacher or something like that. I like that you're asking the same set of questions over and over too, because it can teach the kids a structure, right? You know, if they're doing independent practice and they get stuck, you can just say, what are the questions I asked you over and over? Oh yeah, how does that make me feel? How do you think, you know, why do you think it makes me feel that way? I think it's good to give them some structural pieces like that. Okay, expected response, move on to small group practice, very nicely scaffolded. Okay, after reporting back to the whole and showing their ads, I like that you're doing that, that you're having them work with the group and kind of share each other's mind, work with the information, verbalize it, push through it. Nice. I assume you would be, you know, circulating, kind of eavesdropping at that point. So then having them write a reflection answer, the prompt would be written on the board. How do you think rhetorical devices can be used in writing? Okay. The only thing I think that might kick this up a little bit of a notch, when I go back up, sorry, problems with scrolling. When I go back up to your evidence outcome at the beginning, almost there, here, the goal is that they can write arguments to support claims with clear reasons and relevant evidence. And then the specific piece you're doing today is explain and imitate emotional and logical appeals, right? You really have them recognizing and identifying emotional appeals, but not really imitating emotional and logical appeals. This clause right here assumes that you will actually have them try their hand at writing and imitating emotional and logical appeals and writing an argument to support claims. And so, you want to be careful. I think as English teachers, we're really prone to think about reading and modeling from reading and examples from reading. And it's going to be a big push for the whole class, really, to move beyond that into, all right, have the kids write, have the kids use it. So that might be the only piece I would say to extend this lesson plan and have them actually, maybe you would give them some example claims and say, okay, what kind of appeal would you use here? Justify your use of it. And that would make this a little bit more of a writing plan. But really, I think that's just feedback for extension. I think what you've done here is a very nice job, a very thorough job, and I appreciate it.